COVID-19, a beast that changed the economy and culture of the world we know today. With many mandatory quarantines, guidelines of 6-foot distances and masks, the shutdown of non-essential businesses, and limitations on gatherings, a drastic change was forced upon the world we had grown so accustomed to, and fundamental changes to the way we once lived our lives were crucial to our survival and well-being. That being said, many department stores and restaurants saw the growing desire from customers for contactless or as little contact as possible services. A drastic shift to pickup and delivery options was instituted, and restaurants began expanding to the streets, providing more and more outdoor dining options as a means to stay in business.
This sudden change left a lot of questions unanswered for cities and their businesses. How to accommodate the increase of pickup and delivery orders. How to adjust for the limitations on indoor seating. The tastes of consumers have changed forever, and the service industries are increasing their internet presence and online capabilities to support these shifting desires. Grocery stores, retail stores, and restaurants are having to adapt to the intense desire to not go into the store and instead pick up their goods outside. The change in service industries is going to cause a shift in the landscape of communities, as neighborhood cultures alter with a new style of service.
The e-commerce industry saw massive growth amid the pandemic as consumers turned to online shopping to avoid crowds. Another segment of retail that saw significant growth last year was click and collect. This shopping method allows consumers to click to complete their transaction online and then collect their items at the store, rather than having them delivered. Many retailers like Walmart and Target were already expanding their e-commerce offerings prior to the coronavirus pandemic. The global crisis, though, has added greater urgency to that effort. Click and Collect was a key offering that provided peace of mind to shoppers trying to stay safe amid social distancing regulations. Click and Collect pickup locations vary from secure lockers and in-store pickup places to curbside pickup spots where consumers simply pull into the store's parking lot and notify employees that they've arrived. From there, retail workers deliver the customer's order directly to their vehicle.
Retailers had to alter the planning of their brick-and-mortar business in order to compete with their competitors. Walmart, the Home Depot, Best Buy, Target, Lowe's, Macy's, and Nordstrom accounted for 64% of click and collect sales in the U.S. in 2020. The pandemic has changed social norms and business landscapes for good. Many restaurants and other services have not created a new business model, but altered their existing ones, allowing for a drastic shift to takeout, delivery, and outdoor dining options. The Great Recession of 2008 was another time to use as a reference that changed the face of our economic makeup. But COVID is unprecedented, and means to combat its negative effects on business are vast. Since the beginning of the pandemic, online ordering platforms have seen the demand for their services increase tenfold since the start of the pandemic. In fact, as of mid-January of 2021, 89.6% of U.S. restaurants offered takeout, and 81.9% had delivery as an option. A third of which used 3 or more delivery apps, an unprecedented amount considering most restaurants did not even have these as options pre-COVID. From February of 2020 to April of 2020, there was a 169% increase in the number of restaurants actively using online ordering, and an 840% increase in weekly sales via online ordering. This is not a regional or urban trend. It is seen in all geographic areas. In large suburbs, online ordering grew 3,868% between February and April. In fact, 60% of U.S. customers order delivery or takeout once a week, and 31% use third-party delivery services at least twice a week. 33% of consumers say they would be willing to pay a higher fee for faster delivery service.
Restaurants are having to develop a digital brand and internet presence to go hand in hand with the increase of online ordering. Social media has been a large key to developing the once word-of-mouth reputation restaurants had to exhibiting that great environment online. We have moved to an era of convenience, and the online presence of restaurants is going to be what is most important for them. People now rely more on reviews and ratings to determine where they choose to take out. The rising goods delivery is challenging traditional ways of managing curb space. New technologies, new rules, and new levels of comfort from customers transform the curbs into becoming less static, inflexible installations. Instead, curb use has started to resemble a self-solving puzzle. The move from a parking city to a pickup and drop-off city is only one part of a broader shift to rethink and manage streets and curbs as flexible use and self-adjusting spaces. The development of restaurant and retail grounds to accommodate for a spike in pickup and drop-off relates strongly to how the city documentary's landscape changed to support its own technological changes. Creating new parking spaces for a new mode of purchasing in the service industry mirrors how sidewalks for pedestrians had to be developed to allow for a safer interaction between cars and people.
In addition, creating these parking spaces to accommodate for a completely new way of handling purchases to protect the health of citizens relates closely to how zoning is used the same way, with the purpose of promoting health and welfare and facilitating transportation, per the Standard State Zoning Enabling Act. Furthermore, the additions of these parking spaces affects more than the physical makeup of a community, but also changes the culture of it. Instead of eating inside or walking to a department store, where there was a potential to chat with a neighbor or community member, people remain isolated in the bubble that is their vehicle or home, which means that the once tight-knit and sentimental value of a neighborhood is going to change. Will public participation in communities decrease as people feel less tied to the neighborhood around them? How will the increase in pickups affect transportation and traffic in an already congested city like Atlanta? As people remain distanced socially through pickups and deliveries, the face of these communities is going to alter. How will they change? We will just have to wait and see.